who is from Mauritius. She is today 13-year-old, but when she was 2, she started getting unwell. You will get what is known as immune deficiency. That means you will not be able to fight infections just like normal people would do. And that is where you come across the term primary immune deficiency. It's a group of genetic disorders. That means these children will be unwell from birth, and she went on to have kidney problems, so much to so that what looked like a very well-looking child became a sick-looking child. And the parents had lost hope that will they get a treatment. This child for the last 10 years was suffering and was on several medications, and she was at risk of kidney failure. One should wonder why 10 years of suffering? Why is she not getting better despite this treatment? And that is where she came to us. We did a very simple blood test because it's a very complex disease. And fortunately, we were able to do bone marrow transplant 2 months back in this child. And this child is now on treatment, taking regular medicines. And in the next
I must say, the prevalence of primary immunodeficiency is even more common than 1 in 2,000. It is in 1 in 1,200, which means it is 4 times more common than some of the diseases that you know very well, hemophilia. So you can imagine hemophilia is 1 in 5,000, and majority of them you sitting here must know the hemophilia, but how many of you know the primary immunodeficiency, which is 4 times more common, and in the United States it is almost as common as multiple sclerosis. So you can imagine for years and centuries we have been, or decades, we have been just not being aware of this group of diseases. So it is very, very important, and you are the tool really by which we can disseminate the awareness of this disease or group of diseases in education. There are more than 300 or 280 primary immunodeficiency diseases, and we have uncovered more than 400 gene mutations responsible for these diseases. So now is really a great time that we make people aware of this group of diseases. And as Dr. Patel described you, the most common problem comes with the weakened immune system is the susceptibility to infection, which is so common in our country. And therefore, if we don't recognize them, we'll just think, okay, somebody got serious infection and died of serious infection or developed complication. So it is extremely, extremely important that the community as a whole, the physicians, pediatricians, and these are not just diseases of childhood, and that's very important to remember. They are also present in adults. However, in children, they are the emergencies. If you don't treat them, they will not celebrate their second birthday. And therefore the treatment which they have done so elegantly here of the bone marrow transplant, that's the life-saving treatment, that's the cure of these diseases. So again, I commend both of them and their team, really doing an outstanding job. Now the work of the Foundation for Primary Immunodeficiency Diseases. This was established in 2010 by my wife and I, and it was primarily because one morning I thought I've been very selfish. I've been working all my life doing the science and research in order to become famous, and I thought this is the time that I should give back to my own country.
I'm Dr. Stalin Ramprakash. I'm one of the pediatric hematologist, oncologist, and bone marrow transplant at Aster CMI Hospital. So we have started our bone marrow transplant program 1 year ago, and now we have done one very rare C1q deficiency transplant, which is first in the Asia to be reported as this particular rare condition. So thankfully the child has done reasonably well. Now she's 60 days post-transplant and she's doing okay. How long this treatment took place and how much it cost? The treatment, so this child already had pre-existing problems, and then so the child came to us with a lot of problems. So there was a period for. So there was a 15 days preconditioning period, and then post-transplant she was in the hospital for about 25 days before we could discharge her to home. The treatment costed around 15 lakhs, and it may cost another 2-3 lakhs in the follow-up period.